Hello and welcome to Baker Forward. I'm a host that was on a long time ago, but I'm sure you probably remember me. I am Dr. Lucas Fry and station manager here at WLFT, and there's just so much going on in the world that we need to talk about. So we're going to take the time to understand time and how things have changed and how things are going in the lovely city of Baker. This show all started because a couple of people sat down and said there's a lot of things that people need to know, and unfortunately television sometimes gives us a constraint of time that you don't really have in order to explain the issues. So today, kick back, we're going to really drill down into what's been going on in Baker in the past and how it's going to be moving forward. There's only one person that really can answer that. That's the man in charge of the city, and that would be our mayor, Mr. Waits. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
You've been having fun doing this by yourself?
I have. I've learned a lot. I have.
You've done well. The show has been well received, and you've covered a lot of topics. But today I want to try and get back to a few things that people have asked me about and said, hey, if you ever get a chance, would you talk to the mayor about that?
Yes.
And I just wonder if you maybe could just kind of recap a little bit. I mean, it's basically been 2 years?
It's been 2 years.
2 years since you took over from the old man.
Since I took over from the old man.
Do you stay in touch with him?
Yeah, we talk occasionally. We speak to each other.
How's he doing?
He's doing pretty good. He's moved to Lafayette, so I've been told now.
Lafayette.
Well,
he did his public service.
Yes.
Now it's your turn. So let's talk about the first 2 years in office. Let's start on a positive note. What are some of the highs?
Well, Doc, the highs are that we are really starting to understand how this works. We're really starting to understand how this works, where we want to go. The plan is basically written, and now we're following it. That's the highs, that we have built relationships with people that we've never had before. And I'm really, truly happy about that. And one of those relationships that we have is really got me excited, the relationship that we have with the faith-based organizations in the city. Those pastors and ministers have come out, and they are really working hard now to continue to pray for us and continue to help us bring this unity program, this unity feel that we have, this spirit of unity that we want for this city, and it's working. It's working.
So you think that the high point of your last 2 years is how the faith community has come together?
The faith community has come together, how the elected officials, the senators and representatives, and the relationship that we have with Metro Council and the mayor president has changed a lot, and that was a problem before. There was no communication between those people, but now we're working together, and that's why things are starting to move, not only for Baker, but in the north part of the parish.
All right. So other than the flood, which has got to be the low point of what's happened the last 2 years, what do you see as some of the lows that you've had to struggle with in office?
The lows is just trying to get people to understand that it takes time to do the things and get the things that they want. I hear it all the time. People say, Mayor, when we're going to have this, when we're going to have that. But it's just really hard for me to explain to them that the wheels of government move slow. And other than that, the lowest point would be that we still have people that are still trying to get back in their homes. We still have businesses that are trying to get back. And we're working hard to do that. I wish that we could speed it up. I wish that things would happen a little faster, but I'm doing everything I can to make sure that we get those people back and get them comfortable back in their house and in this city.
Well, we just had a show on called, it was a home flip it repair type of show. Unfortunately, it's come to a close, but one of the episodes actually featured a house here in Baker, and they just finished getting back in their house. Right. And I'm talking about within the last 30 days.
Right.
We're here at the end of October, but I mean, that you wouldn't think it would take that long, but a lot of people still aren't back in their homes.
Yeah, it's taken a long time. There's a lot of things that's in the way, and we're taking the forefront. We're not only doing this for Baker now. You know, everybody in the incorporated, unincorporated areas, we're helping them. We're bringing Restore here. I'm doing everything I can so we can restore the total community here.
What's the biggest problem facing people getting back to normal?
They don't understand the bureaucracy that's going on. A lot of the information changes so fast, and they have to get the information. A lot of these are older people, and they just not getting the information. So we're trying to be the beacon. We're trying to be the light of information for them and put them in the right position to move back into their house.
All right. So you got a vision when you came to this job. And has that vision changed? If it has, tell me how it's changed. But what are some of the encouraging things that's happened to confirm that you headed it in the right direction?
The vision has not changed. The minute I raised my hand and said I do, it fell out on us. And it was always economic development, and that's done through unity. And we've been able to do that. The economic development plan is coming together. Believe it or not, the flood being the worst part of what happened when we first got started has been a good part, because it's put us in front of people that we've never been able to talk to before. The long term, the recovery that we did was great. It was only 2 cities, us and Denham Springs. Now everybody's coming to us to get that information. That long-term recovery plan let us know where we were going, and those things on that plan are starting to come into fruition. Housing is starting to come up. Developers are starting to come. They see the land, the way we market the city. Businesses are starting to come back. When they come back now, we notice that our property, the value of our property is going up after the flood. We did a couple of appraisals. So, I mean, those things are starting to happen. Those businesses are starting to reach out to us. We're still with the Bethany Convention Center. We just recently had our first meeting with our Economic Development District, and so that whole district is starting to grow there. We've put businesses in there. That's where the millennials are going to be. The park and ride is going to go there. We're down to 2 locations there. We have cats involved in that. It's just those things are telling me that we're in the right track. Our annexation down to Groom Road is starting to develop, because developers are starting to come to us now and say, look, we need infrastructure, and we're the only ones that have that infrastructure to help them develop in that area. And so God is telling me this is you're on track. Stay focused and continue to pray and move forward.
Let's talk about the park and ride for a second. What does it actually offer a person?
They can come park their car there. The buses will pick them up, take them downtown. You'll get stops at Southern University. You'll be at BRCC, anywhere downtown.
Is it an express thing?
It's an express thing that comes in, because Baker was the only city that voted for the tax. So, Katz is excited about this. And so is East Baton Rouge Parish, because now the goal is to take 300 to 400 cars off the road, park them in Baker. We build revenue to build that area, to make it real, real nice in phases. We have a couple of restaurants there. People can sit outside. We have the Uber coming in there. They park, they come back, and we can do this 7 days a week. Where the buses come in and take them to the football games. They make it real, real nice, mix, just mix construction and everything to make it nice, because those millennials, they like to sit outside.
And where is this happening at in the city?
This is going to be on Plank Road. We have a location right next to Brittany that we're looking at now. And once we can get Katz to do the second design on it, we're going to go ahead and offer the owner and buy that property. We're going to own that property as a center and lease out everything else that goes there.
Sounds like a great idea. I mean, you're going to get people to move here if they can easily get to work and get downtown with a mass transportation system.
And that's what it is, because a lot of people come through Baker. A lot of people from all the other cities come through Baker getting where they're going. Right. It's 1 million cars come through Plank Road every day. A million cars a year. We counted a year. Every year it's close to 1 million cars that come through Plank Road, going to Mississippi on both sides, on the main street and on Plank Road.
That's a lot of cars.
The camera's ticking there. Everybody's starting to see it. They didn't believe it, but cats know it now. And the parish sees it now. And we're starting to see people saying, man, it's a lot of traffic coming through there. Opportunity.
All right, let's jump to a question that was sent in was, you've served the administration assistant for some years before the flood. Now tell us about Baker after 2016 flood. What improvements or strides in progress do you actually see? I saw the Waffle House, but what?
Well, we saw the Waffle House. We've added businesses, but our infrastructure is a lot better. What we've done, and if you live in Baker and you drink our water, you notice that in the past our water just had a little color to it, and it wasn't bad. It was good to go. But I realized that through the flood that we needed to expand on that. So what we did, because everything is ever changing in the world of water and what's going on all around that, we had to make some changes to our wells and everything like that. We hired consultants or contractors to come in and run our water system for us now because of all the changes. Our workforce still is there, but these guys will keep us up to date and keep us out of trouble and make things a lot better for us. And that's the big thing. The infrastructure is coming up, and the mayor before me, Mayor Harold Rito, Mayor Rito did a great job. I'm just building on that legacy to keep going, because infrastructure brings economic development.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. All right. So, speaking of that, what is the ideal growth you'd like to see happen in Baker in terms of population, the demographics, the economics, numbers?
The numbers, we don't want to get too big. My dream is somewhere between 17 and 18,000.
What do we have now?
We're at 15,000 now, close
so you
to 16.
only want to grow by 2,000 people?
Two or 3,000 more people here.
Seems to be a lot more room than that.
And it is a lot of room for that, but that's as far as I can see it right now, where we can be able to support, because when you bring in that many people, you're bringing in that many homes, and then we support all the unincorporated areas around us too.
Sure.
And that's what we want to bring in. So I somewhere around 18, 19,000 would be good. More housing developments that we're looking at. We're working on a couple of more right now. We hadn't had a housing development in 25 years, and that's a goal to do that. And I want to keep it inclusive. I like the way we are. We are one of the most diverse cities in the parish. We have young, old, white, and black, everybody living together. We only really have one neighborhood that's really segregated. It's off to itself, and it's just been like that for years. Everybody else in Baker lives together. We want to keep that mindset, and it's still down home, and you can still come to City Hall and see your mayor and actually get in and say hello to him. Mm-hmm. That's what we want to do.
All right. Well, the first quarter of this show, I really wanted to end with talking about education, because the school system is the heartbeat of any community. If you don't have educated people coming out of the school system, you can't grow economically, you can't grow physically.
That's right.
Where are we at as far as the Baker school system?
Well, Doc, that's a good question. Everybody knows, for some reason, a lot of people think that the city of Baker mayor runs the school system. We don't. We don't run it at all. We support it a lot. Where we are now with the city is that we're going to hit a ceiling unless we can assist and help our school system grow. Okay, we're not talking about having A schools right off the bat, but what we're talking about is helping them improve. And so I think that we're on board now to see what's going to happen in the future. People say, well, Mayor, how do you feel about who's running? I just want somebody to get in and be able to work with the city and be able to take the school system to the next level. I'm willing and ready to do whatever it takes to help them be successful. I know we're capable of doing it. That's where my growth, that's where I came from. I came from the school system. I think we're capable of doing that. The right people involved, working together, I think we can get there, and we have to.
All right, let's break it down a little bit.
Okay.
Where are we at as far as elementary schools? Have we got enough elementary schools in Baker, and how do you feel let's talk about the starting course.
I think the elementary schools are good. I just think the magnet school always does well, and I think that the elementary schools are well. I think it's time for us to think about building a new elementary school, building a new middle school, go ahead and redoing the high school. I think we need to take a look at all of that and making that better for our kids. I think the way that we market the schools, we could do a better job in that. Our attendance rates are going up. If you look at our sports teams, we're starting to win. We're starting to get other people in. But I think we need to focus on the infrastructure of the school system along with the city. I think it's something that we need to work together on.
Well, the hardest part of this city to work with, when I came here to run this station 9 years ago, or 8 years ago, whatever it's been, I went directly to Baker High School and tried to say, look, I want to put all your ball games on television.
Right.
I want to put football, basketball, softball, baseball, put it out there so the entire viewing audience all across Baton Rouge will see what Baker's got to do.
Right.
No interest whatsoever. Zachary jumped right on it.
That's right.
Zachary did it for a year. That coach got motivated and got hired by a bigger school, and immediately Walker High School came in and took over. And not took over, but they're the ones that we're featuring now. But I go over to Walker and I look at their school design, which they happen to be building yet another new school.
That's right.
And we're talking state of the art. Where does that money come from? How can Walker build it and Baker not have the money to do it?
Alumni building relationships, have to build the relationships outside of Baker. There's one thing that I've learned from just writing and being around former Mayor Pete Heine. He had this city on the mainstream, and you have to get outside of Baker in order to bring things in that you need. That's what Walker does. That's what these other cities are doing. They market their city, they get outside and get people interested in that city, and that's what we have to do here.
We have to be producing something that they want.
Talented
kids
that's right.
is one that they want.
And that they want, and what the kids want. So the brand has to be just right on point. The brand has to be, and then you market your brand, and that's what we're trying to do. And so if we bring the school systems in while we market, then we build a total city. School systems, they create rooftops, and then we're on our way.
That's all they do, is you're right.
That's right.
We got to take a break, and then we're going to come back and continue this conversation, drilling down about the city of Baker. So stay tuned. We'll be right back from some people who care about the city of Baker. Welcome back to Baker Forward. I'm your host, Dr. Lucas Fry, and the General Manager of WLFT, and I've had the pleasure of spending this hour with the Mayor of Baker. And Darnell and I are drilling down into some of the issues that you want to talk about, you want to hear about, and get some answers. And we encourage you to reach out to the Mayor's office, of course, at any time and ask yourself. But tonight we're going to try and enlighten you on a few things. Mayor, welcome back.
Thank you.
Let's get into some of the projects. People have written into me and said, you know, what the heck is going on in Baker on certain things? So let's talk about some of the things that the viewers wanted to find out about. What are we at on the 2018-19 street rehab projects?
Oh, that's my favorite.
Because I ride my new car, that 37 Chevy, down Baker, and I know I'm in Baker.
That's right. You know you're in Baker, but it's going to get better. Everything is going to be real smooth here in a minute. We have money, tax money that comes in so we can go and do maintenance on streets, and that's what we're going to do. I talked to my staff, and we said we got together with the council, and we picked the streets that hadn't been done before, and so that project is underway. They should be getting started here real soon, and I'm going to spend every dime of that money and put these roads in and do the repairs on it.
What roads specifically are you looking at targeting first? Where's your biggest problem?
We're going to start we're going to finish up the Harding Street project that we're on. We're going to go into Meadows of Shallur and do some roads there. We're going to do some roads out off McHugh Road. I think we have right now about 25 roads that are slated that we're going to work on to get done.
Now these are mostly surface?
These are surface roads, resurface roads, and we're going to do every one of them till the money runs out. And we have the new road that I'm real proud of. It was called Lane. It was right off of Groom Road there. It wasn't a road. It wasn't in Baker because we couldn't get the right of way, but we got the right of way now. That's going to be the MLK Lane. That's new. They're working on that right now on Groom Road. I'm really proud of that. Hoovy Road, we've done Hoovy Road. and we're going to extend Hooley Road. People are starting to buy property on Hooley Road. That's over in the Leland area to build that area there. So we're going to spend every bit of that money, and we're going to make these roads real, real nice and get ready for the future of the houses that's going to be there.
Now, this isn't just Domino's repairing the little potholes.
No, we're gonna go in and we're gonna make them real nice.
Is any of them finished? If you have one road that you
the MLK Road has been finished, but if you go down to Hardin Street and go all the way down Hardin or Van Buren, you will see how the roads look. They're real, real nice.
I'll give you an idea
Sandra
to look-
Drive
something to
was
look
one
forward
of them.
to.
Sandra Drive was a real bad road, and that road is done now. So we're going to go ahead and finish that. That's something we're working on right now.
Let's talk the Martin Luther King Lane new project. Where did that come from? What was?
Well, it was about 10, 15 people who lived on this just road. It was a dirt road, and it wasn't in Baker. We could never get the right of way. And so one of the council people went down and she talked to him, Glenda Bryant, but she's very, very, very aggressive, loves this city, and she got the right of way. And once she got them to give us the right of way, we put the city in Baker, and now we're going to give them a nice road
put
right
that
next
in
to
the city of Baker.
And put that in
I
the
got
city
you.
of Baker.
Right.
It's going to be a nice road coming out of there. Those people deserve it. They pay taxes here. Why shouldn't they have a road like everybody else?
Now they're going to have it.
And now they're going to have it.
Next one, a person wrote in and said, "What about the Lavy Lane water well improvement?"
Well, everybody know now, we can say that during the flood, we lost 3 wells at the same time. They went underwater. The collectors went underwater, and
Wait a minute. How does water go underwater?
it went under. The water came over where all the electrical system was,
Oh,
and
the
the wells
pumping
were
system
down. The
and all
pumping
that stuff.
system and all that was down. And we only had the Mississippi well that was running, and it got struck by lightning 2 days later. So we had to come in. Buffalo came in, and they got it fixed for us. And so we had to start work on bringing those wells up one at a time. And I remember, you guys, that we did this through FEMA, but FEMA doesn't pay you up front. We had to find the money to do the work and then get reimbursed from FEMA. So we've done with Groom Road. It's beautiful. It's state of the art. And now we're moving to Levy Lane, and then we're going to move on to Deborah Drive, and get all those collectors up and get the wells running. And when I talked about infrastructure earlier, we saw a way where we could just improve on infrastructure and bring in the technology and put us in the 21st century.
All right, let's break this down a little bit. First of all, what's Buffalo? You said Buffalo came in.
Buffalo Electric.
Buffalo Electric.
Buffalo
It's a
Electric.
vendor
Call them
that-
they're a business here. They've been around here for at least 40, 50
And they
years.
came in and did the
Called them in the middle of the
repairs to the
night. They
system.
came in and held us up
Right.
until they can come in and fix it.
All right, let's explain to the viewers how the water system actually works in Baker. You say collectors and
It's like a phone tower. We have collectors stationed on wells throughout the city. And what they do, because we have the new meters down, and what they do, they collect the reads from those meters. Those collectors do.
Okay.
Okay. And so that's why, but the gas people have to go, because we have gas, they go and they manually look at it. But the water meters are digitally collected. And then we can see that, and then that's how we do the bills.
Oh, okay.
But the collectors went down, they went underwater.
I got you.
Okay, and then we had to pull them down, put them back up, put them down, put them back up, and that was a problem because we couldn't get them right. We finally got them now where they're collecting the reads from the digital. And we're state of the art. We're only a few cities that have this kind of technology. And a lot of cities come to us to start this technology. It's really, really cool. And we're going to update to a technology where we can ride by and get the reads now. Because we learned that if something happens to the collectors, we need to have another way to do this.
And not only does this help you in processing the billing and paying, collecting the money that pays for the system, it also help you monitor where there's problems.
Yeah, we can monitor the problems in our system and know whether there could be possible leaks and everything else, and we do that. It's another way, and the meters. In case everybody knows, the meters actually saves us money. They're saving us thousands and thousands of dollars. They're saving you money. If you look at our bills, we have some of the lowest bills around here because our rates are low. And that's going to be something that we're going to have to take a look at in the future, because as we continue to expound and enhance the infrastructure here, we're going to have to be able to have the money to maintain this system.
I can remember when I did an interview with you a couple of years ago, one of the bragging points was the surplus money that you had. You remember that?
Right.
I mean, it was like you guys were just nothing. People wanted you to spend it, and you were like, "No, we're not going to spend it because we're going to." Did this flood everything, all that come together for you?
Yeah,
in your plan?
it wasn't a lot of surplus money. Harold was good with the money. It was just some there. The surplus money was for the utilities. The utilities are the horse that runs this city. We don't, we make money off sales tax, but the utilities division is a business, and that's what makes this city tick. And a lot of times, the surplus money from the utilities we have to use on the general fund. And so we don't have a lot of surplus money. And so that's going to become a problem in the future. We're looking into that. I want to build a surplus is what I want to do. I want to be able to build a surplus of about $3 to $4 million and still live off the budget that we live. Our budget now is about $16 million, $16 million. I want to be able to live off that, maybe just a little bit more, and then continue to put money in case we need it for an emergency. And this time, we were able to manage our money well enough during the emergency to just get the stuff done to continue to get the money from FEMA, because they're not going to give you that money up front.
Of course,
and that's
not.
what happened.
What's the difference in tell me the Lavvy Lane water well versus Deborah Street?
Deborah Street is on the other side. It's on I think it's on the north side of the city. Lavvy Lane is on the east side, close to here, and it supplies water to this area. Those three, those
and are these
four
done?
wells.
Are they fixed?
Yeah, Lavvy Lane is almost done. They're working on that. I mean, they're going to start that. They're going to redo that and start that so we can get the collectors up. Deborah Drive is still not up. So now we have Mississippi is running and Groom is running, and they can run the whole city.
When do you think Deborah will be up?
We're thinking in the next 4 or 5 months we can have Deborah Drive up and Lavvy Lane. We're pushing the contractors to do that.
All right. So the Lavvy Lane bore water main. I'm not sure exactly what this is.
Well, the
leading
Lavvy
to,
Lane bore water main was, we had houses that were being built in this area on Lavvy Lane. They started building a house there. They had a couple of houses that came in there, and they were selling the land. The land was left in succession.
This is down by the school?
This is down by Impact Charter, close to that. And so we want to make sure that the people moving over there had sewage and they had water. So we just had to bore across Levee. We had to get permission to bore across Levee so we can make sure that they got sewage.
That came together pretty rapid. I remember the guy cleared the trees, and then all of a sudden the houses started popping up.
The houses started popping
no
up,
infrastructure.
Yeah. Right, and so now that is going to turn into a small subdivision, and now we asked him to come anything else that you sell over there, that he sells over there, he's going to have to come and get a plot and everything else, because that's about to be a nice little small subdivision right
There's
across
a lot of acreage around Lavvy Lane or on Lavvy Lane that could be developed into a nice subdivision.
That's right. We got a call the other day. There's people taking a look at 12 acres on Lavvy Lane right past Sunshine Drive. The developers are here. They see what we're talking about, the growth coming.
All right, so Sunshine Road construction of water main to finish up our water discussion.
Right, Sunshine Road, which is not in Baker, they're going to annex that property into Baker. He's putting about 5 or 6 houses on there, but what that'll do is that allows us to continue to go into and annex in any direction. We wanted that corner. We have that corner now. That is so great for us right there. And the guy that's doing it lives in Baker. He's a contractor here in Baker. He's a builder here in Baker. And he builds 4, 5, 6, 7 houses, and he wants it to be in Baker.
So why are all these water things so important?
It's infrastructure being built. And if we do Sunshine Road, we already provide water for the people on Sunshine Road anyway. But as we put that water there, now we can build lift stations, and we continue to grow out into these unincorporated areas as we bring them in, and be able to support with our public safety, fire, police, be able to support all those surrounding areas here. So all we do is jump from there to the next thing and be ready for the as we annex and as the infrastructure continue to move forward.
A lot of people don't realize when we talk about water, you take water in, but you also put water out.
You got to put water out, and it's not free, and it costs to do this. It costs to run a water system, but the deal is that that's one of the benefits of the city. We can provide water, gas, and sewage through the parish. We can provide you that. Most cities can't do that. They don't own their own water system.
All right, so let's move off of water. Voter registration.
Doc, the deal with voter registration was this. I got tired of seeing senior people sitting outside doing early voting. So we talked with the voter registration people, and we came up with this idea. Now, the building belongs to Baker. They rent it from us, but we wanted to make sure that we can open it up and have some lobby space for seniors to come in, for people to come in so they wouldn't have to sit outside in the cold. And so we're going to go and take that. We're going to refurbish that. We are going out for RFP now and get quotes on, and I think they told me they got a quote. They got 2 good quotes, and we're going to open that up. So the people, when they're waiting to vote, they're not in the driver's license part. They're in the voting part. It's enough room where people don't have to sit outside. It was killing me. And we went to them, and they said they agreed. And so we're going to make that real nice so when people come vote, they can be comfortable.
Gotcha. All right, so new lighting on City Hall Park and the municipal complex and streets. Well, that's an expensive project.
That was it. But let me tell you about that. The new lighting in the park was a grant. It was $25,000 to $30,000 that we didn't have to pay a dime. And people had been asking about that. We had been praying about that. And somebody walked in the door that was connected to a company connected to energy that said we could do this. And we checked it out and we came in. And the park is fully lit. When you come down Groom Road now, you can see it. It is beautiful there. They put new lighting up throughout the auditorium.
Now, is that a picture of New York City, or is that actually here?
That's not us, but that's how it looks.
That's how it looks.
That's how it looks at night when you come down through there in our park, because our seniors, they like to walk in the park early in the morning, and some people like to walk at night. It's safe. It's a safe park. It's right next to the police station, and it's beautiful.
It is a beautiful
and
park.
The grant says that we can put lights throughout some of the streets here, so we're taking a look at that to see where we can put the lights. Didn't cost us anything.
Before we go to break, when's the first Buffalo Festival planning meeting? Because I'm going to sit on that group
January. It's going to be in January. Okay. We're going to do it in January.
Folks, I promise you this. Next year's Buffalo Festival will be something you will not want to miss.
That's right.
Because we're going to start planning it a lot earlier, and a lot more people are going to get involved, and it's going to be something the city's going to be really proud of. And I promise you that personally, that WLFT is going to be involved. When we come back from a word from our sponsors, the people who care about the city of Baker, we're going to drill down into some more information that you need to know. Stay tuned. Baker forward. That's what we're all trying to do, is move this little city north of the airport forward, and we hope that you are enjoying this special 1-hour presentation with the mayor of Baker as we drill down into what the city's been doing and where it's going in the future. So let's get back to the questions that were sent in by you, the viewers. We're talking about projects right now with the mayor, and we just finished up talking a lot about water and lighting, but now we want to talk about something called the HMGP submitted 9 grant applications. And the number is staggering. It's $7,184,611. And I want to know what it is and tell people what it's all about.
Mitigation. It's about flood mitigation. If you guys have been paying attention, Garrett Graves and the senator, I can't think of his name now. They did a lot of work.
Well, Graves specifically been talking about the pond or whatever, yeah.
But this is a HMMG the mitigation grant that came in. Baker got $5,000 for that. The deal with it is that we had to put together the whole package to send in for the grant. We're working in part with EBR, with the parish to do this. Baker got $5 million. I think Zachary got a little money and Central got a little money, and we had to put this in. So we have 2 people that's doing this right now, and you know, we wear double hats. Ginger Vaughn and Julie McCullough did this. That saved us money. We didn't have to go out and find anybody to get this, to put this in. This is for mitigation for Boozman Creek, all the water areas where the water flows through the city. We're trying to we put those grants in so we can kind of stop the water from coming into the city on any rain events, to help us keep the water low, to try to dredge out some of these areas. We put in for the Baker Canal. Every canal or any water flow through the city, we put it in to get the money to get the work done on these projects.
This cold meat diversion canal, does it have anything to do with the city of Baker?
Yeah, you know, Garrett Graves did a fantastic job of tying the co-meet into Baker with the Baker Canal, because what it does is that the water from Zachary flows into Baker. So David is he's smiling because they get the co-meet done. We get the Baker Canal done. That water will run into the Mississippi River, which runs here, and the Baker Canal is the only reason that side of Baker did not flood. So yeah, the co-meet is important to us, but they're tying it in with what we got going on. And so all we have to do is get this grant in and hope it gets approved at the Fed level, and then we'll go from there.
Will these projects you're working on now avert the same disaster happening again?
They'll take the water levels down. I will never make a guarantee that this is going to stop any flood, because that flood was just unnatural. It was God, you know, it was a thing that we just couldn't control. But it will help us keep the water down in areas that have already had repetitive flooding, and that's my main deal. We have people who just continue to live here and they get repetitive flooding. And so now we're trying to come up with something to stop that repetitive flooding. Fix your house up and you don't have to really worry about coming in your house. Those areas right off McHugh Road, Jefferson Street, we're working hard to fix those canals over there for you.
Let's talk about some more rehab work that needs to be done. Speaking specifically about Buffwood Club.
The Buffwood Club is a club that was donated to Baker by an organization or individual here before I got here.
Where's it located?
It's located right in Buffwood on Sandy Drive. It's right there on Sandy Drive. It has the pools there. We've thought about a number of things to do, but what we're going to do is we're going to turn it into a civic club location, where all the civic clubs, the Rotary Club, the Pilot Club, all the civic clubs in Baker will be able to hold their meetings there. We're not going to do anything with the pool right now because it's a big liability, but we're going to get it fixed up. We're searching for a grant right now, and we're going to use those clubs to help us get the grant so we can build that thing up and make it nice. It sits on 3 acres, and we just want to make it real nice so Rotary and all the different civic organizations can have functions there. And we can move forward from there. It's a nice neighborhood and quiet and everything too.
Well, back in the day, that was really a fun place for the kids and,
That's right.
and stuff. Is there any chance you think in the next 5 years that the pool could come back?
Yeah, we can get a pool. We're working on at the park now. We priced. I want to get the a water thing in the park. In the park right next to Baker. We're going to get that right next to City Hall. We're working on that because I want to change out all the playground equipment. I want brand new up-to-date stuff. We're going to try to get grants to do that, and maybe we can find an opportunity to get the pool back at that location in the future.
Well, if you'd like to have your name on a swimming pool, I know one that needs to be rehabbed, so get out your checkbook.
That's right.
Facilitating Bakerfield property sale and development. Tell
Well,
us that.
a couple of years ago when Bobby Simpson was the mayor, he bought some property that he was going to use for a baseball complex. And I was out riding around with Ms. McCullough, my administrative officer, and I said, "What is this?" She said, "This is some property that the city owned." And it went off in my head. I said, wow, it's great property in a great area. Why not take it and go ahead and develop it and do a housing area? We haven't done a housing area, we hadn't had a housing development in 25 years. And so the goal is to go ahead and get the council to surplus half of that and put about 80 brand new homes there so people can move into in a great neighborhood. And it's right next to the elementary school. And we want to take a look at refurbishing the elementary school, bringing it up to date, build a new housing development right there and put something and get a start going on that side of town across the tracks. Great area. It's one of the safest areas. And we need a new housing area right now.
Let's speak about crime while we're stopped, and you mentioned about safety. One of the things that this city has touted for such a long time is this low crime rate. And not that we've had a rise in it, but there has been a few incidents here in the last couple of years. Do you see that as a trend that we have to start really being more diligent about, that people need to be involved in watching more carefully, or is it just a happenstance that's happened?
I think it's happening across the country. and I think that we are. We have to take a look. Me and the police chief, we've talked about this. We become more focused on what's going on. I've always been the one that I like strong police. I like people to say, well, when you go through Baker, you got to slow down. When you come to Baker, you can't come with that foolishness. And I think people understand that. We're still a safe city. We do have issues. There's not going to be anything perfect about. We can't control how people act. But let me tell you this. This is something that I want you to think about. During the Buffalo Festival, we're out at the park during the Buffalo Festival, and we have a lot of working moms and working people here, but they were dropping their kids off at the park. And when their kids come in with their families or they're with other families, the kids get a chance to run around the whole place. You don't have to worry about your kids while you're in Baker. That's the mentality that we have because we understand that we are safe. And I just saw the kids, and they come and they have a good time. The parents are up front, they're listening to the music, and the kids are there. And we say, just keep up with your kids. But they can come and they feel safe.
Right.
And we can get people that's 70 and 80 years old to walk around our park at 4:30 in the morning. They feel safe. So we continue to build on that. We continue to build on the fact that you can come here, that we're not going to tolerate that foolishness here, and we're going to be strong and we're going to be aggressive, but we're going to treat you like human beings.
Good point. Good point. All right, talk about the Chamber of Commerce. Where's it at? How's it rehabilitated? How's it changed since your administration started?
We got our hands on it. It's coming up. We have some very, we've rebuilt our board. We have members on our board now from outside of the city. We have people that are from the Better Business Bureau. We have realtors. Mike Walker is very much involved in that. We have people from the financial sector now, and so we're focused. And the Chamber of Commerce is going to become the strong arm. It's going to become the leverage for businesses in the city. We're building it up. Since we took over, and I see a bright future now. Kathy Craddock is the president right now of the Chamber of Commerce, and she is fantastic about what she's doing. Yeah, yep. She's organized and everything. So the future of the Chamber is bright, and I can just tell you that. Just watch and wait, because we're on the way up.
Well, the Chamber is definitely the selling point of a city. It's their job is to get out and pull the businesses together and try and build more businesses.
That's right.
What is their biggest struggle that they need help with?
Just people getting involved again. People getting involved again. Businesses becoming proactive, and then we need to provide things that attract businesses to the city, because the Chamber of Commerce is just not for the businesses of Baker. Is for businesses in the surrounding areas of Baker. So as we continue to help grow the zoo and those areas, those destination points, the Chamber is going to become a huge factor in economic development and the growth of the city.
Since you said zoo, let's just stick with zoo for a little bit. What's going on with the zoo?
Well,
it's kind of dropped out of the news and everything.
It's kind of dropped out of the news, but it's there. I'm the chairperson of the task force. I was put on that task force by Representative Carpenter, where we're doing a study on the zoo. And that study is going to go back to the legislature. It's going to let us know what we need to do to improve the zoo. But here's my take on the zoo. The zoo is just one part of that whole area over there. We look at it from the Baker administration as a destination point. We see that as the next Disney World in North Baton Rouge, where we have an opportunity to grow that whole area there, to make the golf course better, to bring in hotels and all kind of water type things that the kids can do on that whole area right there. And that's what we're doing. The zoo is just one part. Economically, we can change the face of North Baton Rouge if we continue to work on that as a destination point. And we can put that there and we can grow it. That's why I was so passionate about it, because I can see that we can grow. And when that happens, the whole area will explode. North Baton Rouge will never be looked at the place where you can put your dumps and you can put the worst things. It will be the place where people will come from all over this country and all over the world to be. That's where we are here. That's the
That's
way we're
quite a
dreaming
vision.
it.
That's
That's
quite a
the
vision.
vision on that.
And when McKnight ignited that whole thing, and the things that came out of that were positive was the things you're talking about. People were saying, let's put a water park there.
That's right.
They had all these great ideas if the zoo went away, but the zoo doesn't have to go away and still do those things that you're talking about.
And those things,
There's plenty of land.
There's plenty of land, and there's plenty of vision, and we got people out here that says that. And so, if you can do that in the South, you can do that in the North, and that's what we plan to do. And our goal in Baker is to bring all of that into Baker, make it a part of Baker, because it's right on the boundaries of Baker right now. But we have so much. It's so important for us to have. And here's the other deal: the other two mayors are supportive of that, and they tell me, hey, Mayor, go ahead, let's bring it on in, and we'll help you do whatever it takes to make that thing grow, because it's going to be huge for us when it starts to grow.
So that leads me to my next thing that people want to find out. What is planning to be annexed? What's your annexation plan?
Annex is the whole Greenwood Park. We're going to present that to the EBR Parish.
And Greenwood Park is
it's
over on 19?
the golf course, right there. The whole Greenwood Park. We want to bring up. We're 80 to 90% contiguous now. We're surrounded by. We want to get that. We want to take Groom Road down to Thomas Road. Get all those unincorporated areas, and we want Groom Road going toward 964. We want to go down to 964, and eventually, some mayor after me will take it and jump over 964 and take it to the river. And we want to expand Baker there. And that's what we want to do. We're right here. We are a transportation city. People come through this city easily. If you work, you have warehouses, or a place like Amazon could come in. We're close to the airport. We're close to barge. We're close to everything. We got rail coming through our city right now. Logistically, we can support anything that comes this way. We just have to have the infrastructure, and our master plan says that we're going to expand out into those unincorporated areas. That relationship that we have with downtown Baton Rouge, they may say no, but the deal is that they're giving us an opportunity. The mayor president is giving us an opportunity to sit at the table and discuss what we want to do as a city, and I admire her for that, and I think it's a great thing that we can discuss this and where we want to move North Baton Rouge.
She does seem to really want to work with Baker.
Oh yeah, she does. I mean, she doesn't tell me it's not yes all the time, but I do get an opportunity to sit down with her and discuss those things, and she sees the vision that we have here.
All right, we've got to take a final break before we come back and close this thing out. And I tell you, an hour can go by real fast. We'll have a lot of information to cover. And we didn't get to everything we got to do, but we're going to try and wrap it up in a minute. But we'll be right back after some words from people who care about the city of Baker. Welcome back to our special 1 hour Baker Forward. I hope you've learned a lot about your city from the mayor, and we've got a few more points that we want to talk about before he is back to his job. So let's talk about your baseball complex. Is there anything you want to tell us about that and how it's going?
We are going to put it on capital outlay now, and we're going to take it to the legislatures and do that. It's $2.1 million that we want to do. We have 2 fields that can hold up to high school tournaments. We have 2 football fields that we can turn into soccer fields. And we want something nice in that area. That will bring economic development. People will come here. They have tournaments all year round. We can turn it into softball fields for the high schools. And we do everything with the high school athletics in mind. So that field is going to be huge for us.
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams, and then we're gonna fill it up. And the deal is that we're gonna start working on that when they come back to legislation.
Continuing with upcoming work, what are some other things that residents of the city can expect projects that are going to come forward?
Well, the housing projects is going to be the big project that we're going to be working on right now. We have 17 projects that we're working on together. A lot of these are prioritized based on the other things, but the thing that you can be looking at the most is what's going on Plank Road as we continue to build work on the park and ride and the housing development that we're going to do across the tracks.
What do you see in the next 5 years as far as major improvements that you're going to try and accomplish?
Major improvements is to continue to build our commercial area, more housing, more work with the schools in the next 5 years. I think if we can go ahead and work with the schools and get everything moving, I think we can take the Baker to another level and more unity. I want to change the culture. Baker Forward is a movement of people with ideas and values, and one of the number one value is that we love God, and we're sure that God is in this with us.
There's no doubt about that.
Right.
You've take a minute and just tell people about personally how you feel that other people are responding to the work you've done and the support you've gotten.
Well, you know, I just take it one day at a time. You know, people are good to tell you in this business that you're doing a great job all the time. I stay humble. I pray, I ask God every day to keep me humble, to keep me passionate about what I'm doing. And I just want to serve and do the best I can for the people. I can't make everybody happy, and that's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do is give you the best opportunity to have a great city. And I'm going to lead. Now, and sometimes it's going to be situations where you may not agree or you may not understand what I'm doing, but trust me, I love this city just as much as you do, but we got to feel good about our city, and we got to feel good about the people that live in our city.
Well said. Well, I hope you have a wonderful fall and holiday season as we get into that, and maybe next year we can sit down and do this again.
We can. I appreciate you.
Appreciate
Thank
you being on the show.
All right.
I do. Appreciate what Baker does, and if you don't live here, you should. It's a great city to live in. It's close to everything, and I tell you, if you do any flying at all, it's really handy to get to the airport. It's real close by. And I enjoy my time in Baker. The people here are really nice. The businesses are somewhat limited, but that's only because it hasn't grown to its full potential yet. But the businesses that are here, you'll find that they are very hospitable, and they will solve your problems and serve you in ways that you haven't been served in the Baton Rouge area. So come up to Baker and check it out. Check out the zoo, check out everything it's got to offer, and mostly be sure and have a good time. Until next time, take care, and we'll see you down the road.